Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, Pay for thinking right out here in the lab. I got a whole lot of time to do what I do for you. Let's go. It's on. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. I put the message in story for life. These are life lessons to help you get to where I think you should be or where you say you want to be. Know thyself. That's the goal. That's why I do what I do for you. Let's go. Right thinking mission. That's what I'm on. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. That's my goal. That's my mission. No secrets. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. We're about to get involved in that today. Will help and guide you to attain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission as the right thinking master, to have all my right thinkers to do just that. I got one. I'm waiting for some more. I'm still working. I'll keep picking up, keep using it. I'll let you know. Well, no, you let me know when you get there. All right, let's go. No, that's a rhetorical question. But if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you out with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got you. A person who knows not and believe that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is asleep spiritually. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. Boy, oh boy, I'm sitting here having flashbacks because I'm in my book, okay? But I got so much information I've been picking up. I got to bring the lesson because when I learned all this years ago, I was learning it to learn. I didn't learn it to teach. I didn't know I was learning it for that. But now I'm just freaking out because this is all good information. So today, let's talk about right thinkers. Let's talk about the elements of human consciousness and the personality. I'm going to go from there to the levels, excuse me, the mind. We did that. Now we talk about the levels of the mind. But this little tip that I'm going to throw in as a caveat, I wasn't, but I just read it. I got to bring this to you. It's just informative. Let's rock. I got to go. I know I got but 20 minutes. I'm trying to squeeze this in. I'm trying to limit it my time. And just say though, y'all suffer ADD, so they ain't got a long time attention span. I was told when we was young, you got memories long as mosquitoes prick. So if that's your issue, I shorten it up for you. But my goal is to get you to know thyself. So I'm doing that. Let's rock. The elements of human consciousness and the personality. A human being is what? Of many is a complex of many elements, which together are referred to as what? The personality. The personality may also be referred to as, yep, the ego. We need to understand the underlying concept and what the ego means. So understand, pay attention. Your personality is referred to as ego. Why? You'll find out. All the elements of the personality emanates or originate from the universal ocean of consciousness, the divine self, which is the essence of you. The ego, on the other hand, is a unit of what? Identity. You identify. When you say I, that's you identifying with yourself, which is fine, No problem. But it is the idea or self-concept of the individuality, like a wave, as opposed to the idea of universality, the ocean of consciousness. You just think yourself as a little wave when really you're the whole ocean, but you don't see it that way. So that's the idea, expanding your consciousness and realizing who you are. Now they call it the triad of mental experience, is what the basic factor of human experience. You hear about it, study about it, then you experience it. That's the mystical experience. You can hear about God, learn about God, but when you experience Him, Now you know God. So that believing, I ain't big on that believing God. Why? You need to know God. And watch this. It is the factor in those who know God, those who serve him in earnest. The ones who believe in God claim to serve him, but they really serving themselves. We know a bunch of them. So really knowing God will put you on the straight and narrow. Why? You hold yourself accountable because now you know he know. Is watch this. It's the factor that sustains what? The ego, that me, that I. You don't think God, you think in self. So understand that. And that's natural. This is why, however, the triad, watch this, is not only the only factor operating in your human consciousness in order to have a more complete understanding as to the nature of human consciousness. Here we go. There needs to be what? A deeper seating, aka study of the elements that compose the human personality, aka God and goddesses. I'm breaking the aspects down for you as we go. This is what's telling you why it's like that. The following is a diagram to what assist in understanding the relationship between the different levels of consciousness. The primeval ocean concept, which is pure, unadulterated consciousness. God is all conscious. We know that. So understand that. That's the gimme part. You need to become conscious of who you are. Become all conscious of self. God already got his. He gave you that so you can do it for yourself. And if that don't happen, you can't blame God. Well, why God let do? Why God did it? God don't do none of that. Remember, understand it. He gave you life. What you do with it is your gift to him. Moving on. The human ego, listen, is like a wave in the ocean. Both the ocean and the wave, water, are what? Composed of the same constituents, excuse me. But because they are what? Being elevated based on what? Their gross forms and names, which they have been assigned, ocean versus wave. Ocean, the whole thing, wave, the little thing. Understand that we are little gods. I hear people say, "Oh, we the big God, the big G, we little G." Whatever. However you work it out, it's okay. If it works for you, that's what you do. That's all it can. If it works for you. Now, they are viewed as what? Being separate, but distinct entity, excuse me, who, whoa, I'm at brain freeze. They seem separate, but they both identity. A wave and ocean, both the same. Similarly, watch this. The human soul is a focus of what? Cosmic consciousness, which is a wave of consciousness that arises from what? The ocean of consciousness, which is the inner self. Just as the wave is essentially what? The ocean, so, too, the same individual soul is in reality the same as the universal soul. Essentially, they are one and the same. Everything comes from the one. I love that. The human soul, the individual being unaware of what his universal soul sees itself, again, the ego self being what? Separate, finite, and limited. I'm going to die. The fear of dying, meaning you haven't elevated your consciousness to know your higher self. That's why. Anybody scared to die? Their house ain't in order conceptually, and they don't know themselves personally. It is only, watch this, in touch with what? Its wave-like existence. This whatever is going through life, how it did, and the existence of other ways around it. Other people, we all the same. No, it is what? Ignorant. Again, it is ignorant of what? Its deeper essence and the deeper essence of all other ways. It don't know itself. The universal soul, the ocean. That's what they decided to call it. So it what becomes attached to what is ignorant understanding as well as its self concept of being what? An individual in the world of individuals. Me, I, competing. Yep, dog eat dog. It's a rat race. For all those that's ignorant, they build that in for y'all. They keep you going like the hamster wheel. Let's go. The next one, understanding what they call the triad. Seer, the invisible one. Amen. Seeing, Ra, the instrument of sight, and the perception, also the realm of what? Waking, dreaming, and the dreamless state of consciousness, the three levels. Ego consciousness operates how? Through the personality, the mind, the senses, the feelings, the desires, etc. The human 5 stages of dealing. That's what the mind deals with. Ego conscious. Since ego consciousness is what? Limited. You, the individual, your soul, can never experience peace and happiness. Why? While identifying with its ego consciousness, its ego self. It's grounded. The ego keeps you here in hell. Spirit raises you, ascends you to the heavenly concept where things are different than here. The body stays here, spirit goes up or go get reincarnated. Let's understand that. So watch this. When you are egoistic, the individual soul having experienced what? Ocean-like, unlimited bliss, desires to what? Rediscover that bliss. So it begins to search for ways to regain that experience. That first high, the first time you get high, that first blast, that first orgasm, you want to do it again. And if you don't have no self-control, no wherewithal, you become hooked. We as a society are mentally hooked on a whole bunch of stuff by choice, but still hooked. Watch this. Now, but having been tainted with what? Ignorance of egoism does not be discovering its true nature. It cannot discover its true nature. Why? But through the ego personality, it holds you here. It keeps you level, grounded, ignorant, your low vibrational state, they call it. Watch this. Now, that ego personality is held as what? The reality above all else. It believes this is it. It don't care. It's hell bent on what it believes. Watch this. Being is ignorant of its higher self. That's all it knows itself. So all thoughts and feelings are what? Directed towards what? Fulfilling the egoistic whims of the personality. I want this. I want that. I want this. I need that. I want that. And every time you get it, you want more. Fast you get it, you want something else. That's egoistic personality. And watch this. Thinking that these will what? Lead to peace and happiness. If you think material things are going to get you happy, you're thinking wrong. I keep telling, explaining that to you. The human personality is what? An effect of what? The error. We are human. We're prone to error. The ego is the perfect example of that. We're trying to get you to understand that. A lot of people don't even know what their ego is. Well, what's ego? I don't know what the ego. But it's an error. Right? Watch this. Reference source not found. There is no correction for the ego personality. Watch this. The human personality is an effect of the error of what? Mental experience based on what? Subject, object, and the interaction between the two. However, since the personality is what? Transitory, limited, and weak, the search for what? True happiness and peace in human life becomes what? Frustrating, elusive, painful experience that intermix with what? Brief periods of relief and relaxation, but you never truly find peace and happiness in things of the world. That's the end of that lesson. I got nothing where I can get this in. I hope I can get it in. Yeah, I hope I can. Let's talk about the levels of the mind. The level of mind. All matter, be it sentient or inert, sentient or inert, is what? Sustained by consciousness, God. However, a living being reflects certain special qualities of consciousness which give it what? Varying degrees of what? Intelligence according to what? The particular life form where the spirit energy is present. From plant life to animal life to human life. Consciousness manifests in varying, here we go, degrees of expansion according to the level of development of the nervous system. Remember, human beings have a nervous system of the particular life form. Human life reflects varying degrees of what? Consciousness. This is why there are certain people who are more in touch with the earthly values, while others are more in touch with the spiritual values. Why? According to the level of purification, the person may experience lesser levels of consciousness, such as pain, misery, sorrow, loneliness, morbid thoughts, etc., aka depression. Or you can suffer higher levels of consciousness. Here you go, such raise your conscious level to such as harmony, peace, and happiness. Consciousness, excuse me, happiness. Even watch this, while you are in human form, body, you can become one with the divine in consciousness. This is the goal of all right thinkers. This is what I'm trying to get all my right thinkers. This is what you need to do here now. It can happen if you die, no, but it takes work. That's the part a lot of people fall short on. Don't be one of the people. Put the work in. Watch this. This is the idea behind what? The teachings. Men are mortal gods. Gods are immortal men. Egyptian proverb. And know ye not that ye are gods, said Jesus. The idea is that even though you are associated with the lower vibratory state, which is human form of matter, the physical body, I love it, you can raise your consciousness to the higher vibrational rate of supreme self. You can consciously become godlike through deeds and righteous, virtuous living, and you'll make that happen. Why? That's how it happens. The disciplines, again, spiritual disciplines of what? Right thinking philosophy and yoga seek to what? Transform you, the human body, into a purified vessel. Why? Wherein the subtle spirit can fully manifest. When you raise your conscious level, when you become a better individual spiritually, something will happen and you will be the beneficiary of that. Watch this. Otherwise, that energy is what? Distorted. And ignorance and other gross qualities of your lower self-image, the human nervous system has the potential for reflecting the highest range of consciousness, cosmic consciousness, or oneness with the mind of God. Order of nervous system complexity. It starts with plant life. They naturally grow, they do their thing. Trees have existence, life, okay, life form. No conscience, but they're trees. Then you got the animal. They got instinct, they got life, they got form. They don't have consciousness. Then you get to the human life. We have that ability to become better than what we are, raised from a beastly nature like the Sphinx. You go from a beastly nature to the intellectual nature. And it was first the head of a female, too. I understand that through my studies. But then you got the last, which is what? The transcendental experience. That's you and God having y'all one-on-one. And no outside force, nobody, no other can tell you about God. Why? Now you know. You ain't got to believe. You ain't got to go to the preacher. You ain't got to come here. You know God for yourself. And what you do with that knowledge, totally up to you. Moving on. Let me wrap this up right quick because now the mind is composed of what? 3 levels: unconscious, subconscious, and conscious. Let me wrap this up. The unconscious level of the mind is unimaginable depth. It is the level in which what? The deepest impressions of the mind lie dormant. That's why my man from Dark, my man Ray, Ralph Smart, dive deep, get inside yourself, like the ocean. So you got the George said, you can go out. I don't need no water pipe. I can dance on the water and not get wet. So I don't need nothing. These impressions are what? Gathered through what? Life's experiences. Not only in this lifetime, but in previous ones as well. Why? Because the spirit been around a while. Remember, this ain't its first go round. It is the level of mind that determines your conscious thoughts, desires, beliefs, and aspirations. It's all between the ears. Now, these thoughts, desires, beliefs, and aspirations only become evident when what? When they appear in what? The conscious level of mind. If they are acted upon, I told you a thought means nothing. Ain't no special thought, sacred thought, holy thought. No. Any thought that's coming to your mind, just a thought. Once you act on it, watch this. if they are acted upon, once they appear in the conscious mind, they what translate into action and in daily life. So if you got bad habits, you're gonna practice them daily. Good habits, routine, you're doing daily, and you benefit. Trust me, I know. Therefore, watch this. Who you think you are is what based on your impressions gathered in what your unconscious, and you are always acting out of these deepest beliefs what about yourself. If you don't know you, who are you being? So if your beliefs are erroneous, your way of life will what lead to frustration and sorrow, depression, anguish, and everything that comes with the superstitions of what not knowing thyself, being led by what somebody else said. Now, if your understanding is correct, you're a right thinker, your experiences will what be positive and enlightening. My job is to do just that, give you positive enlightenment for yourself. Unconscious impressions have been compared to seeds. When you had an experience in the past, you had a certain feeling about it. This feeling was what registered in what your unconscious mind and remains dormant in the unconscious level of the mind, like a seed just waiting. At some point in time in the future, that seed will what sprout in the form of a subtle desire in the subconscious mind. Here you go. Now, the layer between the unconscious and the conscious level, it will then move into, here we go, the conscious level where you become aware of it as a thought or a desire. And guess what? An example of an impression is as follows. If your previous lifetime you were helpless, sickly child, you witnessed your family die from a plague. As a result, you gathered these impressions of what anger, fear, to what disease. So in this lifetime, you have an unexplained desire to what become a doctor. The thoughts in your mind center around medical science, and your aspirations draw you toward this field. You may not remember the actual experiences which propelled you to act in a certain manner, but the feeling that had registered deeply in your unconscious mind did. That's what you need to understand, how the mind works. That's my end of this lesson. I got more, but I just stop right there. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got to understand it. I'll be back.